Sleepiness. This is the only tired on this list that sleep actually fixes. There is a chemical called adenosine that builds up in your brain every hour you stay awake. It fits into slots on your brain cells, and every filled slot is a signal that says you need to rest. The more of them fill, the heavier you feel. Caffeine does not remove any of it. Caffeine is shaped almost exactly like adenosine, so it fits the same slots and takes the spaces first. The signal is blocked, not answered. The adenosine is still in your head. It is still building. It just has nowhere to land, which is why when the caffeine wears off, the tiredness does not come back gradually. Hours of it land at once. Everything you are not feeling is still waiting. Sleepiness is honest. It tells you exactly what it wants and it goes away when you give it. That is the last tired on this list that keeps its promise. Sleep inertia. You wake up, you are conscious, and for the next several minutes you are functionally impaired. This is sleep inertia. Your brain does not switch on, it boots. The parts that handle alertness come online first, and the parts that handle judgment, decision-making, and coordination lag behind. Studies measuring performance in the first few minutes after waking have found impairment comparable to being legally drunk. You have driven in this state, you have answered your phone in this state, you have agreed to things in this state, and if you wake up in the middle of deep sleep instead of at the end of a cycle, it does not last minutes. It can last up to 4 hours. That is a tired that ends by lunchtime. The next one accumulates for years. Sleep debt. Every hour of sleep you miss does not disappear. It goes on a tab. Lose 1 hour a night for a week and you have lost 7. That is roughly the same impairment as staying awake for a full 24 hours, except you never feel it arrive because it never arrives all at once. Here's the part that makes it dangerous. After about 2 weeks of restricted sleep, people stop reporting that they feel tired. Their performance keeps falling. Their reaction times keep slowing. But their sense of how impaired they are levels off. They adapt to the feeling. They do not adapt to the deficit, which means the most sleep-deprived version of you is also the version least able to notice it. You may be carrying weeks of this right now. That tired lives in your body. The next one lives in your choices. Decision fatigue. Every choice you make costs something, and the account does not refill until you rest. Small decisions and large decisions draw from the same supply. What to eat, what to reply, whether to speak up. By the end of a day of choosing, the mechanism that makes choices is worn down. And it does not fail by making bad decisions. It fails by making no decision at all. The exhausted mind starts defaulting. It picks whatever is already in front of it. It agrees to the thing that requires no thought. This is why you order the same meal when you are tired. It is why arguments get settled by whoever is still willing to keep talking. You have made real decisions in this state. About money. About people. About your life. You did not feel tired when you made them. You felt certain. That tired affects what you choose. The next one changes who you are willing to care about. Compassion fatigue. There is a limit to how much of other people's pain a person can absorb, and it is lower than anyone expects. Researchers first documented this in nurses, then in emergency responders, then in social workers, then in therapists. People whose job is caring, who slowly stop being able to. It does not feel like burnout. It feels like numbness. The stories stop landing. The suffering in front of you becomes information rather than emotion. Some people describe it as watching themselves fail to feel something they know they should. The cruel part is who it happens to. It does not select for people who care too little. It selects for people who cared the most, for the longest, without stopping. Compassion is not infinite. It is a resource, and nobody tells you the number. You have felt this looking at the news. That tired empties the part of you that feels. The next one empties the part that wants anything at all. Burnout. In 2019, the World Health Organization added burnout to its international classification of diseases, not as a medical condition, as an occupational phenomenon. They defined it with 3 components: exhaustion, growing mental distance from your job, or cynicism about it, and reduced ability to do it well. But the definition misses what people actually report. Burnout does not feel like being tired of work. It feels like being tired of caring whether the work is good. The thing that goes first is not energy. It is the part that used to want to do it properly, and it does not stay at work. People describe losing interest in things that have nothing to do with their job. Hobbies, friends, food they used to like. The flatness spreads outward from one part of life until it covers all of it. Rest does not fix burnout. People take a 2-week holiday, feel better on day 9, and lose it again within a week of returning. That tired can be traced to a cause. The next one has no cause anyone can find: chronic fatigue. Some people wake up exhausted every day for years and no test finds anything wrong. The condition is called myalgic encephalomyelitis, or chronic fatigue syndrome. It affects millions of people worldwide. There is no confirmed cause and no cure. Its defining feature is not the tiredness, it is what happens after effort. Patients call it post-exertional malaise. You do something ordinary on a good day, a walk, a conversation, a shower, and 24 to 48 hours later, you collapse, and the collapse can last for days or weeks. The punishment arrives after the crime, so late that patients often cannot work out what caused it. Roughly a quarter of people with the severe form are housebound or bedbound. And because every standard test comes back normal, many of them spend years being told there is nothing wrong with them. That tired has no visible cause. The next one has a cause you can watch on a screen: ICU-acquired weakness. If you are unconscious in an intensive care unit for a week, your body begins dismantling itself. Muscle mass falls fast. Studies of critically ill patients have measured significant loss within the first 10 days. Some patients lose the ability to lift their own arm. The nerves degrade alongside the muscle. Survivors describe waking up from sedation and being unable to sit up, hold a cup, or move their legs on command. The signal leaves the brain and nothing happens. Recovery is not weeks. For some people, it is years. A portion never fully returned to how they were. This is a tired produced by lying still, which is the exact thing every other tired on this list asks you to do. That tired comes from being unable to move. The next one comes from being unable to stop. Manic exhaustion. There is a state in which a person goes days without sleeping and does not feel tired. During a manic episode, the need for sleep does not just decrease, it can vanish. People report sleeping 2 hours a night or not at all for days at a time while feeling energized and capable. The exhaustion is still accumulating. The body is still paying. The signal that reports it has simply been switched off. And when the episode ends, everything arrives at once. The debt of a week or more collapses into a person who is now also carrying the consequences of every decision they made while they felt unstoppable. The most dangerous tiredness is not the one that stops you. It is the one you cannot feel. If you have made it this far into every way a person can run out, drop a like and subscribe, because the next tired on this list has never been fixed by sleep in any recorded case. Fatal familial insomnia. There is an inherited condition in which a person stops being able to sleep and then dies. It is caused by a single mutation. A protein in the brain misfolds and begins damaging the thalamus, the structure that regulates sleep. Once the damage starts, it does not stop. It usually begins in middle age. First, sleep gets shorter, then it fragments, then it goes entirely. Sedatives do not work. Nothing works. Patients remain awake for months while the exhaustion continues to build with nowhere to go. Fewer than 100 families worldwide are known to carry the mutation. If one of your parents has it, you have a 50% chance of inheriting it, and there is no way to feel it coming. It waits silently for decades. Most cases end within 18 months of the first symptom. That tired kills a person. The next one has been measured across an entire population. Social exhaustion. Being around other people costs something, and the cost is not the same for everyone. Every interaction requires a running background process. Reading faces, predicting reactions, monitoring your own tone. For most people, this happens without effort. For some people, it never becomes automatic, and after a few hours of it, the system simply runs out. It does not feel like disliking people. That is the part outsiders get wrong. You can be exhausted by someone you love in a conversation you want to be having. And it has an inverse. Prolonged isolation produces a fatigue of its own. Studies during widespread lockdowns found people reporting profound tiredness while doing almost nothing at all. Too much contact drains you. Too little drains you differently. There is no setting where the cost is zero. Every tired so far has come from doing something. The last one on this list comes from doing nothing at all. Existential tiredness. Every tired on this list has a source. Something took energy out of you, and the energy can be named. This one has no source, and that is what makes it the strangest entry here. People describe it as being tired of the structure of the day itself. Not the work, not the people. The repetition. Waking, doing, sleeping, waking. Well rested and still exhausted by the shape of it. It has been written about for as long as people have written anything. Medieval monks named a version of it acedia, a listlessness that arrived in the middle of the day and made the whole religious life feel pointless. They considered it the most dangerous condition a person in their position could develop because it did not stop you from functioning. It stopped you from seeing the point of functioning. There is no test for it. There is no deficit to repay. Sleep does not touch it because nothing was borrowed. Every other tiredness in this video is your body telling you to stop and rest. This one is not asking you to rest. Nobody has ever worked out what it is asking for.